All right. Well, it looks like we are just at the top of the hour. Hopefully everybody is still joining us. We're gonna do kind of a slow roll to give a few more the chance to join us and get signed in. With us today, we actually have Amanda Blackburn from Mutual of Omaha. She's been our primary contact for years and years. I know Jeff was going to add some humor. We've been good friends and working with each other, you two especially, for how many years? Jeff, you've been here 26.
I think, Amanda, you've been at least 15, right?
Since 2010. So,
oh my goodness.
yeah, working on it. It'll be my 23rd year with Mutual of Omaha this August, though. So, yeah, it's been a great ride. Love the relationships.
Absolutely. And we also have Deborah Giroux. Before I get too far into her background, I'm going to go ahead and give Amanda a chance to kick off the webinar with just a little bit of detail about what is going on in terms of agent incentives. So I'll let you take it from here, Amanda.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Lynn. And thanks to everybody for joining us. We know everybody's time is very valuable. So hopefully you're able to walk away with some great tidbits. I think you're going to find Deborah's presentation very educational. And with that, I wanted to be sure and kind of kick off, as Lynn said, with some incentives. And also just give a shout out to GoldenCare for inviting us on today. They're great partners in this business. And just by being able to keep everything in front of you, hopefully you feel well informed about everything we have going on at Mutual of Omaha. So with that, we are excited to have 2 long-term care incentives to be able to promote to you guys. We realize that as agents out there, you have the hardest jobs of all, right? We know that you have lots of different carrier options and that really the need for long-term care insurance products is stronger than it's ever been. But we also know with the fact that you have all of these solutions that you are trying to get out there and keep the word long-term care moving, right? Help people understand that they need to be educated to know when to make the move. But we also know that the economy presents its challenges as well. And so with the position that we're in today, with just the rising costs of groceries, gas, and everything else in between, that our product flexibility and hopefully that ability to dial in and meet any budget price point continues to help you tell that Mutual of Omaha story and helps you help consumers find a solution that they can afford and still brings them the best consumer value come claim time. And that's really what it's about. So to help recognize the work that you're doing out there, we have these 2 great incentives. Hopefully you can see on the screen, win some cool cash. That's our short-term incentive that runs throughout the month of May. And whether you've been writing a Mutual of Omaha product for years, or you're new to us and you've not written a policy at all, or you're going to be writing your first one in 2023, you have the ability to win some cash with us. So hopefully you've seen the GoldenCare promotions of this flyer. If not, please reach out to them after this webinar. They'll be sure to get it out to you. But essentially during the month of May, we wanted to help give you guys an opportunity to win some cash based on the level of production that you do with us. So if you rank within a top producer with us, you have the option of winning $2,000, $1,500, or $1,000 worth of cash. But also as an added bonus, we wanted to go ahead and give the first 50 producers to place your first Mutual of Omaha long-term care policy with us in 2023, a $200 cash reward. So as long as applications are submitted between May 1st and May 31st, and the policies are deemed eligible according to the qualifications, they must be placed no later than July 15th. We know there's a little bit of a tail with long-term care policies, so they have through July 15th to place. To qualify for this, basically, you have to have at least 113,000 in AMBP and have a minimum of 5 apps submitted and maintain a placement rate of 60% or higher. And then we'll be paying those cash rewards out on the regular comp statement. So that's one incentive I wanted to share today. And then the other one I'm hoping—
I heard you say 113, Amanda. I think you meant 13,000.
13,000. Did I say 113?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Okay, cool.
Thank you for correcting that. Well, we'll take the 113,000.
I was going to say, that's a heck of an incentive.
Anyone.
Right. Everyone knock yourselves out. I love it.
I love it. Well, you know what? That's a good transition into, if they can get to that level or higher and make it more towards that 150,000, they could potentially qualify for our long-term care Crown Club, which is the second incentive I wanted to promote today. So hopefully you've heard about this, the long-term care Crown Club. We've been promoting it for a few years now. But basically, it's an opportunity for you as a producer, if you are ranking in one of our top 10 spots by having at least 150,000 in AMBP, and you maintain a placement rate of 60% or higher, then you have the ability to also qualify this next year, basically based on how you do throughout 2023. You could earn a trip to Charleston, South Carolina in April of 2024 for you and a guest. You would stay in an award-winning Hotel Bennett. There's several Crown Club perks that come along with that, though, and I know that's what our current Crown Club members love, is that they would get access to enjoy a dedicated concierge team that will process your business. Your cases will get top priority and overnight delivery upon issue, which means faster service time. You'd get advance notice of company announcements from your team. You would be part of quarterly calls with our Mutual of Omaha leadership, and you would also have exclusive access to special underwriting quotes and case management status lines. So definitely a lot of extra perks there, and it basically runs throughout the following year. So if you qualify in 2023, these are all the perks you'd get throughout 2024. And then of course you'd have to qualify again in order to keep all of those perks. So again, a minimum of 150,000 with a 60% placement rate between January 1st of 2023 and December 31st of 2023. And then you have a chance, if you fall within the top 10 producers, of qualifying for this Crown Club and incentive. And with that, I am going to go ahead and, I will add one additional perk. We wanted to try to help members of this program qualify a little bit easier than prior years. So this year, we also added that each incentive credit is 1.2 incentive credits for each dollar of AMBP. So let's say you hit 100,000 AMBP level, it's actually accounted for at 120,000 versus that 100,000. Just another way to continue to give you a bit of a boost to qualify there. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to GoldenCare or Deborah to kick off with our claims presentation.
Perfect. I see that, Deborah, you received that notification. I can see your screen very clearly. So I'm just going to go ahead and introduce everyone to you. I don't know that we've had you on before as a special guest speaker on one of our training events. So, and thank you for sharing your camera, everyone. It's nice to put a face with a name for sure. This is Deborah Giroux, Director of the Individual LTC Claims at Mutual of Omaha. She has had over 25 years of claims experience in short-term disability, long-term care, voluntary benefits, and life insurance products. So she's had an enormous amount of experience in customer service and claim reporting, auditing, data mapping, end-to-end processing with that, with the entire claim, process. And she also has several of the industry designations. How many is it about 4? So
it's 4, and actually it's interesting because I reached out to Amanda. I'm going to put it out there publicly that I am going to get the designation. It's the certified LTC designation that Amanda holds.
Yes. Okay.
I'm a little jealous. Why can't I get one of those? And the next thing you know, it's, it really is. It's the knowledge of long-term care and what we can, bring to the entire spectrum is, I feel like, part of my responsibility.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, well, thank you so much for taking time today to join us and to talk through some of the long-term care process and what the claims department is seeing. I'll go ahead and turn it over to you, and you can take it away.
Well, thank you very much. And it's my pleasure to speak to GoldenCare and everyone that really wants more information about the claims and, what happens at claim time. But I want to really give a shout out to the GoldenCare website. When I was preparing this presentation, I'm not sure if any of this is going to be really new or aha to you. one thing that stood out to me that GoldenCare really does well on the website is they actually go into what is long-term care, what are the activities of daily living, what information we can give our customers that would benefit them at claim time. So it really was refreshing to see that same information. And you'll see, like, throughout my presentation, I really do have a huge passion to deliver epic customer service. And I'm actually joined today by one of my supervisors, which I will introduce shortly when I get to our leadership slide. But really shout out, thank you, really enjoy being here. And without further ado, I will go ahead and go to my slides. So, and are you still able to see the slides? Here we go.
Yes.
Someone could give me a thumbs up. That's great. So really quick agenda. Talk about the leadership team at Mutual of Omaha. We're certainly not the largest in the business, but I do say, you know, once we have everything under the roof, we're able to make sure that our customers from stem to stern are really treated fairly according to the policy they purchased, and that if you need to have some sort of status or direction, you know, what that process may look like for you. So today I will cover the leadership team filing a claim, our claim collateral, which is our marketing material that you can present to customers. And we always like some good statistics about what's happening in the industry as well as Mutual of Omaha.
Okay, sorry, I'm just gonna butt in. We are still seeing just that main introductory slide, so we haven't.
Oh, okay.
It may have just been paused.
Okay.
Here we are.
Oh, right here. Are you able to see the leadership team?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Be honest. And so the leadership team, I want to say the one thing I'm proud of is I'm not sure many companies would actually put their leadership team up on a slide and also put the ways you can contact us. And I mean it. You know, if someone has a question, they're going to reach out to Amanda first, and Amanda is going to connect directly to me. I would say that Amanda and I have worked so well in the past couple of years to form a trusting partnership that she knows to reach out to me if one of you reach out to her, and she knows I will go at great lengths to solve a concern, to look into a policy language, or to provide status. So I always really say, you know, Amanda is sort of the gatekeeper. If you reach out to me directly, I probably will loop her in, knowing that we have that type of mutual respect for what we do every day at Mutual. So I am joined today by one of my supervisors, Nicole Schutz. Nicole, if you want to take yourself off mute and just say a quick hello to our partners at GoldenCare.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Sure can.
No? Oh, okay, perfect. Thanks for having me, Deborah. Great job so far. Mutual is amazing. I get to work alongside some great leadership, and we all take this this block of business to heart. Long-term care. It seems like there's, you know, it's just getting started, and there's so many folks out there that could benefit from this once we kind of get it all out there for everybody. So I think our claims department is solid. We have a great team. We're very customer oriented. So like Deborah said, if any questions arise, just, you know, shoot us an email, and we'll get right back to you and help out in any way we can.
Great. Thank you, Nicole. And that wasn't scripted. so
No.
So I was like, yeah, thumbs up, because really is, you know, we really do love what we do. And as I mentioned, so our department is comprised of, we have 3 teams of benefit specialists. Each of those teams is led by a supervisor. In addition, we have RNs that support the team. They look through the medical information and try to interpret if the medical information is telling us that story of whether someone experiences a loss in their function or a loss in their cognition, or both. One of the things that we implemented a couple years ago was a dedicated call center which allows our customers to call directly into a toll-free number and speak with a call representative who can access the policy and answer basic information. It really does help when a customer can speak and say, you know, what is my policy? They purchased it 20 or 30 years ago, and they're bilingual. And really now we're implementing an after-hours voicemail, because sometimes our customers think of us on the weekends, and we want to be able to at least acknowledge them first thing Monday morning. So we continue to explore different ideas on operational efficiency, which I'll talk a little bit more about. It always starts with a story, and that is the one thing that is true every single call. And it is finding out what occurred in this person's life. And we train our benefit claim specialists to ask the question, what happened for you to file a claim today? What led up to your hospitalization or the event? There's always a single event, whether it's acute or chronic. Something occurs for them to want to file a claim. It is our benefit claim specialist responsibility to gather that information. The better the story, the easier it is when we can make that claim decision. And we basically assess the medical condition and the eligibility requirements in the policy and make that determination. Our marketing department has launched a series of claim stories that I took from our own block of business, changed the name and some of the information to protect privacy. It outlines 4 different customers' journey. And what I really like about this particular brochure series is that it goes through 4 different scenarios. Thomas's story, he comes in already needing home health care and end-of-life services. John's story was that he suffers a stroke. Bruce's story is he is taking advantage of the cash benefit rider that is available. He needs the income sooner than later. Yes.
I'm sorry, Deborah. It looks like your screen is still stuck at the leadership.
Oh.
I'm not sure if it's somehow being paused in between each slide progression, but it's not.
That is. And yeah, moving on. So the brochures are customers that have suffered a variety of impairments. And, you know, Nicole and I see it every single day. It's the stroke, the fall victim, the cancer, cardiac. It's, you know, just something that we look through every single day. And more about our marketing brochures. And I know that there will be additional brochures after the presentation, but really talking about what's your role, what is our role, how does your policy work? And when you go to, you know, sell the policy, it is important that the customers know, they remember certain things, you know, like, oh, wait a minute, you know, I think I have this or I think I have that. And then when it comes claim time, it's so important for the customer to be able to link what they purchased with the real life experience. And hopefully you'll see the next slide. This is the one that I really looked at your website and how can you help? I always like to say, does everybody really know what IADLs are? And that is a lot of the questions that we receive. So we get calls in to say, you know, my parents need help with their housework, they need help with their meals and shopping for groceries. Someone may have lost their driver's license and now needs assistance for transportation getting to and from. Policies do not cover individual or instrumental activities of daily living. They cover the activities of daily living or the cognitive impairment. So the more information that we can educate our customers, the better experience it will be for them come claim time. We always want for them to file before the elimination period. It's financially impactful for a customer to pay through that 90-day elimination period. So the earlier that we can get them a decision, the better they are, you know, when they meet that 91st day or the end of the elimination period. It's always helpful to educate on Medicare and what that covers. Medicare.gov is a valuable source of information that actually says what they will cover. You know, grab bars, a safety check, a one-time safety check, what equipment, what canes. It's all right there. And so we do get customers calling in. We can direct them to the Medicare website or the toll-free number. Why that's important is if they're filing a claim and they filing a claim for items that Medicare will cover, that is something that we have to turn away. And that's not a great message. You know, they're already trying to file a claim and get all the paperwork. And then we're saying, well, we're not going to cover it. You need to submit that to Medicare. We want to avoid that at all possible and let them know that Medicare that we all pay into is there and does have information available to them that they could have. And from personal experience, I was able to provide this information to my mom, and it was a fairly easy process. So I was nicely surprised that, I said, here's what your doctor needs to write, here's the 800 number, and she was able to get what she medically needed covered by Medicare. And as we know, the qualified plans do require the yearly assessment. Our nurses are able to provide that assessment, so we don't have to go out and ask the customer to get recertified or go to the doctor yearly. We will collect information. Sometimes it's medical information, other times it could be a phone call, really depending on the condition and where the customer is residing, whether it's a facility, assisted living, or at home. And as always, email or call with any questions that you have. Okay, the next slide is really talking about the claim process. Claim process is the same as probably from company to company. Is we really do need that HIPAA authorization, which allows us to collect information. And by collecting information, we have to make a decision whether the medical says unequivocally that they need help with bathing or dressing or severe cognitive impairment. When we're not able to make that decision, we do rely on our in-house nurses and physicians to help guide us through that medical story. And that could be going back to the physician and getting additional clarification if needed. Every new claim is seen in a new claim triage process we have every single day. The triage is the benefit claim specialist presents the claim and the facts, and the nurse will provide a review, and Nicole and I will be part of triage. And the reason why we do a collaboration effort is to make sure that we are looking at the claim holistically and we're really not missing anything. An example of that is, Nicole and I are well versed in what Medicare will cover and what they won't cover. So if someone is presenting a claim during a period of Medicare coverage, we may suggest to the benefit claim specialist to call to determine when Medicare benefits end, and we would pick up liability after. It also is very beneficial for our nurses to attend triage. They're the medical experts. So while I can look at an MRI and sort of read the result, I don't know how that equates to an activity of daily living. So, we really rely on the medical nurses to really provide that information to us. The benefit claim specialist is the owner of the claim. They will administer it based on the policy facts. They'll communicate with the customer. And if the communication does not result in a favorable decision, we absolutely encourage new information to be submitted. We don't call that an appeal process if they have new information. We simply call it a reconsideration process. So we want to go and get that additional information to see if it overturns or changes our decision. If it changes the decision, we would approve benefits. If it doesn't change the decision, then they do have the right to appeal. Here's our contact information slide. I'll pause there for a moment. We will make this slideshow available to you. Right now, you'll see two different sets of numbers, and the reason for that is we divide our block of business right now between legacy, which is administered in-house at Mutual of Omaha, and any policy that's after 2004 and continuing to sell is administered by our third-party administrator, Illumafin. We have made a decision, so I'm excited to talk about the statistics, but also I want to talk about our new claim system in a further slide. We've decided to bring all the claims in-house, so in the future there will be one phone number, one fax number, and we will retain all of the claims. So some fun statistics. 1987 was our first long-term care policy, and we pay out about 11 million every month. Who needs care? It always seems to be women leading the way. The percentage of 64% to 36%. I've only seen that shift a little bit over the years in the long-term care business. 81 years old is our average age, and that is a combined average age of our modern and our legacy block combined. We do have some policies that are quite old, and so it really is fascinating to see that the average age is around 81. Our oldest customers are 106, and they each filed their own claim. So, they're for physical impairments. And our youngest is 46. I believe that is Lou Gehrig's disease. And cardiovascular is the longest claim on our block right now. So I really like the fact that the 106-year-olds are filing their own claim, and I do believe that they're both residing at home. So people still prefer care at home. They want to stay in place at home. They would rather not go to an assisted living or a facility. What I find is the assisted living facility, the 29%, often is spouses. Husband and wives, they move in together. One is generally more frail than the other, and generally they'll file together. And it's interesting to see, the living in the room, they're moving from their house, and they make that big decision to sell their house, move in together, and then spend their final days. And a little bit of information about what we're seeing at Mutual of Omaha is the need for long-term care absolutely is growing. The one interesting fact from COVID that we experienced is that COVID brought out those conversations that no one wanted to have with their parents. And I myself had the same conversation, what if? What do you want your end of life or the last part of your life to look like? And I believe after you've seen so many claims and so many different stories, that having that conversation saying, if someone fell, what would happen and where would you want to go for the rehabilitation or the hospital? And, what if you can't go home? And that is a real reality for parents and for kids that don't necessarily live. Big reality that this may occur, and really what are their wishes? What do they really want to happen? You really don't want your medical condition to dictate the end of the life, and that's really why the product is continuing to grow. The medical conditions, because of COVID, we find that customers didn't go to the doctor as frequently as they normally would have. So we do see, mostly with the cognitive, the onset is really severe. I mean, they are going from their home right into a secured memory unit. We do not perform in-home assessments anymore. We used to years ago. On most of our claims, we would send out a nurse that would go in and provide a one-time assessment. We found that we prefer the customer story through medical records. So while we decided to not do the benefit eligibility assessments due to COVID, now we are making that decision, saying we're going to rely on medical records. There are cases where we may decide to perform a benefit eligibility assessment, but right now those are very few and far between. And here's some new exciting initiatives. And I gave a little preview on the one with our new claim system, Phineas. So 2023, 2024, we are really working hard on bringing all of the claims in-house. It really is going to be so much more beneficial for our customers' experience to not have to work with our third-party administrator, to work directly with us. And it just is more consistent. And really from a training perspective, to have all those claims in-house, we can better manage it. Always willing to do the long-term care presentations anytime that we can strengthen the advisor network. I absolutely understand the criticality of your role. I also understand that we are forever tied together, that if it weren't for your sales, I would not have claims. So definitely understand the connect in the journey along the way through underwriting, through the product discovery and now then through claims. And so I'm sort of that end result, and you are the beginning. One of the great things that I actually have a meeting next week is that we're going to highlight some of our customers and provide you with a video of those testimonials so you can show potential clients and customers. And I really like that from the perspective of our own customers are willing to talk on our behalf about their experience. And soon to launch, we entered into a collaboration with the Helper Bees. Most carriers are jumping on this Aging Well platform, and I am so excited that we chose Helper Bees after about a year of vetting out different vendors. What I like most about the Helper Bees is that it is an easy to use website where our customers will go in and have access to a resource library. They will have a marketplace so they can select items at a discount through pre-vetted vendors in their area code or their zip code. And if they want to have that one-on-one care advisor, it's going to be an optional self-pay. It's going to be about $40 a month. If, you know, a son and a daughter really wants someone one-on-one to go in and work with their parent, that also is available. We will be launching this through our customer access portal to all existing long-term care policyholders. So this is a value add. And, you know, again, I have a demo site. I go in, and even some of the articles I find extremely helpful, such as, you know, the Medicare, the grab bars, the marketplace. You know, if I want to go and I want to look at meal delivery in my area, pop in my zip code. Meal delivery, by the way, is the #1 item that is most requested from the Helper Bees. And I'll have more. I'll share information with Amanda as well. You will see this flyer starting to be in your policy kits probably in August. So we're just waiting on a little bit more connectivity to be able to launch our Better Living Longer more broadly. And, you know, really we want to hear from our customers, and very proud of the fact that we now have CSAT, customer satisfaction scores, and we didn't before. And, you know, we get escalations, and if there's a way that we could have avoided it, I want to know about it. And Nicole actually is a supervisor for the call center. And it's nice to be able to go into these surveys and actually read these. And then we go back and listen to the recorded call. So it really is empowering to say, oh, we really did well here. And, you know, I'm showing you the great CSATs. What I'm not showing you is where we could improve, and we can improve, and we constantly look for those opportunities. If hold times are excessive, if someone doesn't get their question answered, we want to know. We do not ever think that we are hitting it out of the park all the time. That's our goal. That's, you know, to be epic and to be here for our customers. This gives us a forum to be able to listen to feedback and respond appropriately. So I'm very proud of this work. It's an ongoing commitment to our service. And that is the end of the presentation. So hopefully you saw a lot of the presentation, and I'll certainly turn it over for any questions.
Perfect.
I'm going to go ahead and read some of these. We did get some that kind of came through here, so I hadn't really been ahead of you on this, so I'm just going to read them here quick. I had something I thought was interesting. You guys don't do in-house assessments anymore.
Correct.
I know the other carriers that we put a lot of business with do, and sometimes they take like a month to get scheduled, so that's interesting.
It is. You know, the one-time assessment, we've learned that really that person doesn't know the customer. I mean, they're doing an observation, which is fine. Yet in some cases, it's not a true reflection of the story. And we learned that the disease path should be very well documented from the provider, or the provider's willing to talk to us about the fact that, you know, someone has cognitively declined so much, or it's useful to have, you know, a hospital discharge. You know, so we get a lot of broken hips, unfortunately, and
Which isn't a
you know, we
claim.
don't need to order,
Yep.
you know, 100 pages of medical. We just need to get the discharge and
Right.
figure out the recovery. So I hope that's a benefit that we don't request them. I've not heard a lot of feedback that people are wanting us to resume those.
I'm just thinking how to speed things up, whatever, too. And also just another question of my own. I got a couple more I'm gonna read here. That's it. So, but
Mhm.
you know, I saw a claim form of some kind that you fill out and get to you guys. Now, other carriers, again, I don't want to say, they'll literally say, nope, there's an individual claim pack that has their following number. So you have to call them. They send this big informal package out to get then completed because it has their, so they don't have a generic form. So people can't look at that or kind of know what to gather beforehand. Right. So is that form is more or less, did I see that right?
We actually now have a generic claim form that we just put on mutualofomaha.com. And that is for
Okay.
both lines of business. And I can send the link. It's, if you go to mutualofomaha.com, you can go to the bottom, or I can share
Yeah,
with you.
we could probably
We
find
just
it.
added that. In addition to, we added instructions on what are these forms and why do we need these forms.
Okay. Yeah. I know Lynn's on here too. Maybe we'll grab those, but those are always nice to have. So
Go grab them.
okay.
Yeah, we're very proud
Yep.
of them. It's not
Yeah.
where we want to be in 2023, 2024. It's a start. Our customers, gosh, their sons and daughters are there over the weekend and they're like, uh-oh, we need a claim form. So why wait until Monday? Fill out those forms now.
Yes. You're right. I know sometimes it take a while to get them out. It's a week and a half later. It's there's delays just built in there.
Goodness.
So right. Okay. So here's what okay. How often do people need to pay for private services or other companies which help people who own LTC plans to file claims? Kind of an odd, kind of a, like, I guess you would know how often people are hearing that, but I know there are
It's
services out there
rare.
that help people.
Very rare.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very rare that we would see a customer hire a long-term care advocate. I think I
Okay.
can think of two that I have seen, and it really is, it's a liaison. I'm not sure if call us. We're happy to navigate anyone through the process, and it's one of those things. If it's an advocate for other processes, or if they have claims simultaneously, but no, it's very rare for me to see that.
I think that more speaks to some of the bigger blocks out there from way back that are still, they're having tons of them and a lot of agent base that had a lot of customers. So I think there's a couple of carriers that do kind of offer service that. What else do we have here? Let's see.
That could be my retirement gig.
Right. Absolutely. Yes, it could be. They're I got one here. It says no. Please clarify. No longer performs benefit eligibility assessment at beginning of claim. They just said no longer. Yeah. Please clarify.
So that
I'll read it one more time. Yeah, it says no longer performs benefit eligibility assessment at beginning of claim ?
Yes, that is correct. We no longer send a nurse out to assess our customers in their home.
Okay, that's right. That's what I kind of asked before I even got to that one as I scrolled down. So I thought that was interesting. Okay. Is that more or less too, because if it is a HIP, sometimes you can explain to them right away that it's probably not going to be a claim, right?
If it doesn't exceed the 90 days chronically ill,
yeah,
correct. It's interesting. I think of the BEA and the nurse going into someone's home, or I do think it has its time and its place for certain situations. I just don't know blanketly that we would go back and say every single person we need to do this for the reasons that I've mentioned.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's sometimes
I
it's
can
so
see it
obvious.
speeding it up. Yep. I can see it speeding it up. So that's all I really had here, actually. So you did a good job covering it. I also just like the fact that you guys are still current. I know those pieces you pull out, what to expect with a claim, like all those kind of things. Some of the carriers that no longer sell long-term care don't have any of that stuff. Like there's nothing really to kind of get people ready for a claim anymore. They stopped selling. It's kind of, administered through some other place, and it gets to be, I know as a marketing office, we're holding hands a lot on claims. So for you guys, I like the pieces you have.
And that's the nice thing with Mutual.
Yep. That's exactly what
we're keeping it in-house, and we're continuing to sell. And thank you for the feedback on the marketing material. That's, Amanda keeps that fresh, that ready, and making sure she checks back with me. Is this still relevant? Has anything changed?
Well, yeah, if you're smart as an agent, you keep that stuff in your customers' hands after you sell it to them. So, not that I don't want to help them, but you want
Yes.
them educated and smart about what they're doing so they can get their claims done and not have any hassles. So, that's all. I don't see any more questions here. Lynn, do you got anything? Or Amanda, you want to add anything? Or
The only thing that crossed my mind is with that generic claim form, is that really to give people the expectation of what types of information they're going to need to provide? Does that still lead into that full claim packet that has the forms where the doctor would sign off on the 90-day pre-cert and things like that? Is that still the very beginning and it would lead into what we typically know of as that customized claim packet? Okay.
It really is. And if there is one document out of all of that, it really is the where do I start? And it's probably
Okay.
2 pages on a Microsoft Word document, which really tells you about the forms and what we may need. And it's when you're ready, I think, to file the claim. And that's where, once you get the HIPAA authorization into us, we will order medical and then make that claim decision. So I'd like to think that we don't necessarily need all of the forms, but we do need the HIPAA authorization to collect the
Okay.
medical information.
So all in an effort to speed things up, just to be able to help the client and get the client the help they need.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. And
And we're
we
all in
do
favor
a
of that.
lot of, oh, good, because we do a lot of talking with the powers of attorney. And it's like, I never want to hold up something because of a form. And Nicole knows that I don't like forms. I think of my mother and the mail she received when, my father passed. And I was like, how can we stop this? Like there's so many forms. Some are valuable, some are really not that valuable. So it really is a starting place. We definitely want the HIPAA auth, I would say. We have to get the medical information and figure out that medical story. The rest is nice to have, but it's not as though we can't collect some or most of that over the phone.
Okay. Okay.
I
Okay.
have
Thank you
one
for
more
clear.
yeah, I have one more last, sorry, Lynn. I have one more last question. This is again, just for me. I'm a guy who's written 700, 800 long-term care policies. I
Oh,
get
thank you.
customers. I do get questions, claim questions. I just had one this morning, not a mutual question, but here's a couple. There's 3 kids that are now helping out mom and dad. Dad's had some dementia issues for a while. They just don't know when they want to start their claim. They're worried they're going to run out of benefit. So it hasn't been too bad taking care of them. So it's likely that as soon as they start this claim, he's going to qualify, right? Because they've waited. So in that situation, they call up your team or they fill this form out. Will they start paying the claim the day they asked it to start paying? In other words, if you then do whatever assessments that has, you get the position statement in there, he's clearly eligible. You're not going to go back any further than the date that they actually asked for it, correct?
We will go back to the date that we're able to establish when that person became a harm to himself and others.
Okay. So devil's
And
advocate say it was over a year ago, then what happens?
oh, that's a tough one because the policy does restrict you under the proof requirement. It says you must
Okay.
provide proof within a certain
Yep.
amount of time. And we have vetted that out with our internal lawyers, and we stick to that. And I'm going to be cautious here. We stick to that
Okay.
in most situations. And we recently had a claim where the customer actually was able to provide us with all of the information. And we went back to, is it 2021? It was over a year, and
Wow.
it was well established. And well established, I mean caregiver notes, home healthcare invoices, medical records showing the activities of daily living loss. So it's not like I've seen to that extent before. Usually
Right.
it's, I didn't realize my mom and dad had a policy, yet they were paying the
Right.
premium. So then we
I
go
do
to our
see that a
lawyers
lot.
and say,
Yep.
here's the proof. Well, you can go back a year. End of story. So I'd like to think that we would
And
look at something case by case.
okay. And so since a waiver of premium, they go back and refund the premiums for those 6, the whole thing.
Oh,
So that's
yes.
great.
Yeah.
So they will go backwards a little bit, and it's okay.
We'll
I was
go
just kind of
backwards a
curious.
little bit to the date it makes sense. I mean, we do
Right.
get people that were
Okay.
hospitalized in December and they're now at home and the kids don't even know that they have a policy.
Yeah.
So
Right. That happens all the time.
it,
Yeah.
Yeah, like have that conversation with your mom and dads or your POA and get it out there.
I tell
Tell
all
them
my
you have a
customers that, but
policy.
they don't. Yeah, they put it in their
Oh,
safe
tell
and they
them.
forget all about it. Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, Jeff, on that note, I might just add with the marketing materials that we did share, just a couple key things as we've been doing webinars recently. One thing I'm hearing from a lot of long-term care specialists is that they're starting to incorporate some of these points from our "We'll be here to pay your claims" flyer into their actual sales story up front.
Right.
So a lot of times people will say, well, what if are claims benefits even being paid out? Well, here's some proof that, a lot of benefits are being paid out over a period of time and it continues to rise. So helping just tell that story and helping clients understand. And then when you kind of talk about from year to year, helping families understand that there's policies in place. One piece people tend to really love that we have out there that Lynn also has and either has already distributed or will, is that How Your Policy Works brochure. I mean, it
Yeah, I like
tells
that.
you, where do I start? People just don't know where to start, right?
Love
So,
that piece.
and a lot of agents will use that like on an annual plan review. Hey, pull that out and share that again annually. Just, it could be 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the road before people touch their policies. So just keeping the information fresh as they have it available is good. So just wanted to point out those two things as well.
That was my point. And good thing having you guys still be actively in the market, that you are still doing it and producing these pieces, because a lot of the stuff we're dealing with, they haven't produced any new pieces like this for 10 years or more. These customers are completely in the dark. So I like what you guys got. All right. Well, I think that's it for the questions. I know we got a couple people dropping off. It's 2:45. So thanks, Deb. Great job.
My pleasure. Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'll
yeah.
actually make a comment, Amanda. Yes, I do plan on sharing these with all of the attendees after the fact. That brochure, the different pieces you mentioned. Everyone who's attending, be on the lookout for your email.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yep. See you later, everyone. Have a good one. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Check out our website, goldencareagent.com, or give us a call at 800-842-7799.